Warren Whitlock, and we're at the Word Camp Las Vegas convention.
Hi.
How are you, Warren? I'm Nadia Harper, and Warren is such an interesting guy, and he's actually a local to Las Vegas, so I thought it would be absolutely awesome to find out just a little bit more about Warren. Thank you very much for doing the interview with us, Warren, because I know that you're an extremely busy person, and I appreciate it. Now, you're speaking today at the convention, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
What are you going to talk to us about?
I always talk about reciprocity and how important it is to give before you ever get anything. When you ask for things, when you ask for people to come and help you, it's always so much harder. All of us in sales, we even have this problem of everybody wants more leads. And I've never met any business where they said they had just too many leads, they couldn't get to them, they couldn't help all the people that wanted to buy.
Right.
And you can get that way, and the way you do is by making sure you have a full bucket.
Yes.
And so I say fill your bucket before you need a drink.
Yes.
And you do that by giving to others.
Absolutely. And also, I know that, Warren, you have a book out about Twitter, don't you? The Twitter Handbook, isn't it?
Yeah, we have a website, twitterhandbook.com. The book's called Twitter Revolution.
Okay.
Okay, it's available on Amazon. It's the same thing. We set out to give and help a whole lot of people. We did a blog. We collected a lot of the best tips and success stories of Twitter at the time, back in 2008, and then we published them as a book, and we're helping more people with it.
Yeah.
And of course, I get the benefit of being the Twitter guy. You know,
you are the Twitter guy.
I was the Twitter guy because I started doing that.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean I get to just go solely on the basis of having the book. I've spent 28 years online helping people.
Yes.
I know how to do it.
Yes.
But by having a book, it gives me the chance to emphasize that. And so what I knew I had to do was to give first.
Definitely.
So by giving, then it pays off. We got the book done, and now people are asking me to speak as the Twitter guy.
Yeah.
I don't know more, but I've used good marketing to let people know that I'm the guy I always was.
That's fantastic. And it seems a bit strange because we're at a WordCamp convention and we're surrounded by techies from all over the United States, actually just coming to learn about WordPress. But there may be some people out there who don't yet know what Twitter is. Can you tell us a little bit about Twitter?
Sure. Twitter.com is a site that you'll go to. If you haven't been there before, you'll say, what's this? It looks like some short post about people eating breakfast. Because if you look at Twitter, the main feed, most everything on there is going to be totally useless information to you.
Oh, right.
It's kind of like standing in a mall and listening to other people's conversations. It's, the chances of it being something useful are very small. Okay, but once you sign up and then stage 2 is you sign up and all your friends say you got to have an account. You sign up and you say I don't get it. It still seems like a pretty much waste of time. But then stage 3, and where most people get fairly quickly anymore, is you start engaging in a conversation.
Oh, right.
So if you didn't have a telephone, you'd say, why do I need one of these? Then you find out your friends have a telephone and you get one too. But when it rings or you make a call and you start getting in a conversation, then how did you ever live without it?
It moves the conversation forward a lot more rapidly than, let's say, just having all your friends on your social media site.
Right.
Is it something like that? It's a bit like texting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very close to texting. It's also called microblogging. So instead of thinking about writing up a whole post, or like we're having a conversation now, you had to set up a camera, we had to find a quiet place, we had to do all that. The people that watch it have to find the video and watch the entire video to see it. Where a tweet is, hey, I just met Warren, he's a cool guy, follow him. And I could get a lot more publicity a lot quicker. That's the very, essential way of how it works. But what I do is I go out, my big meme right now that I'm spreading is that we can give clean drinking water to every person on Earth.
Oh, absolutely.
There's
and
over
I'm
a billion
all for
people. Yeah, there's over a billion people that don't have clean water, even more that don't have electricity.
Yes.
And these are problems that are fairly easy to solve.
That's right.
And so I've decided to pass that on as much as I can. And in doing that, I make new friends, new connections. And every once in a while somebody says, hey, how can I do this? How can I do that? And my day job is marketing books, promoting books.
Yes.
And so I give a free course. It's bookmarketingstrategy.com. And you just go to bookmarketingstrategy.com, sign up, and you get several emails telling you how to get started. And I tell all the authors, Don't go out and write a book and hope everybody's going to discover it.
Right. That's a mistake I think some people make, right?
Yeah, yeah. Instead, go out and start promoting and helping and setting up these networks and helping other authors. There's a whole lot of other authors. You probably know things where you can help somebody else far more than you'll ever be able to learn about the how to do it, how to promote, how to market. So you go and connect with people, and sooner or later you've got some pretty big names talking about you. So one of the biggest names yesterday speaking made a special reference to talk about me. He referenced my talk. He referenced, that I would be speaking today, and he referenced something else. And I'm going like, this is pretty cool. I hardly know the guy, but he's aware of me because of the work I've been doing to give. And so, and I say great things about him all the time. He noticed.
Well, you are very, very well known, Warren, and we're very lucky that you live in Las Vegas, and that's one of the reasons that I wanted to introduce you to our international marketplace, because a lot of the people that follow me actually don't live in America. So I sometimes like to show America what people are doing outside of America, and to show the people outside of America, famous people like you, and the amazing things that you're doing in America and for the community. And I think you struck on a great point that I'd really like to emphasize about reciprocity. When you give first and you're going along and you're doing your marketing and you're getting your social networking done and you're really getting to know people and building relationships with people, it takes you a lot further, doesn't it?
It does. And remember, in using direct marketing principles of saying, when you mail out postcards to 10,000 people, you're not going to get responses from 10,000 people.
Right.
And so in building a network, which is going to be, how can I get followers on Twitter or subscribers to my blog or readers of my book and get those to support me and make my living? Most of them, it's not going to work. So, and in fact, I use the math that's involved with how many people buy a book and then read it. Less than 10% will ever read the book.
Yes.
Okay.
Even
well, if you're
though
not,
they buy it, it's
if you don't market to the 90% that aren't going to read it, you're going to be in trouble.
That's right.
And so, and when you think about that, the majority of the people are not even going to buy the book. So you've got to be out there, and you got to take care of a whole lot of people, and you never know. I'll give you one really quick example. One of my authors last year had a book, self-published book. And we did a major publication and promoted him and did that, made him a bestseller last year. He had this other book that he sold a few thousand copies of because he's a speaker and he's known. Very, very small distribution. That book wound up in Turkey, where a guy read it, liked the contents of the book. It's still very important to have good books.
Of course.
Even though most people aren't going to ever read them. But that person took that book and sent it to his cousin in Chicago. And the cousin works for a Fortune 100 company.
Works, isn't it?
It was $1 million consulting contract.
You see?
Yeah, he would have never done that if he hadn't shared what he knew in the book in the first place.
And I think if we operate from that 6 degrees of separation philosophy, that we don't know who we know or may come into contact with, or who somebody that we just pass by might know. I think if we're doing the reciprocity and we're treating people fairly and we're giving whatever we can afford to give towards other people and caring about other people's projects, then we get a lot further. I also know that you have a radio show, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Tell us about your radio show.
It's twitcastradio.com, TWITCAST radio, RADIO. And it's on the Blog Talk Radio Network. And I love that network because she's well over 10,000 shows now. They all are talking any subject you want.
I love it.
You can meet people in there. What I encourage people to do is come by the show. Right now it's usually Friday nights at 7 p.m. here in Vegas. But
you're 8 hours ahead if you're in Europe.
Yes.
And 3 hours time difference if you're in the East Coast, right?
So 10 p.m. East Coast, and we won't even try to calculate it. In Europe, probably too late.
Figure it out, right?
You can listen to the recording there. But then if it's not my show, some other show.